Oh, Max, I am tired. How are you?
You're tired, bro.
I am tired. It is quite late in the evening.
Well, it's so late that it's not even the evening anymore. It's
That's
technically the morning. But you know what? That's when people like me thrive.
Me too. I'm very much a night person.
I'm a night owl. People always ask me, what's it like working at nights? Isn't this weird? I'm like, are you kidding me? To be commuting when nobody's out, there's no traffic, nobody on the trains. I mean, I could have a whole seat to myself if I want.
People who work during the day are suckers. They have to be stuck inside while, the sun's out and sitting in their cubicle, typing behind a keyboard and a computer. People who work nights, they get to go outside, enjoy the day. Less people outside.
Have you ever worked a 9 to 5?
Not really. I mean,
Really?
maybe my first job, and it sucked.
What was it?
Probably working at the NFL office. You're sitting in the basement all day. So that's my point. No sun whatsoever. I'd come in in the morning when the sun was just coming up, so there's no sun out. I'd leave after 6 o'clock. It was night out, so I never saw this. I never saw the sun.
So you were licking envelopes in the morning, licking secretaries in the afternoon?
Not even.
No?
Oh God, no. That was
You
just
only wish.
sad times.
What
That
were
was
you
the
doing?
that was the ultimate struggle.
But what were you doing?
Sitting behind a keyboard and making sure other people got paid.
Oh, you were payroll.
No, I was data analysis. I was cross-referencing players' playtime to make sure that they got paid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds interesting on paper, but yeah.
I remember the first sitting down as they're doing training and orientation, looking at the screen, going, "What the hell did I just get myself into?"
Yeah.
That moment where you're just like, "What the," and you just like, "I'm so much better than this. Why am I doing this?"
Jobs are like that. They always, I mean, it's no secret what I'm about to say. They always word it in a way that sounds the most attractive to you. But when you get there, it's something totally different. It's like, oh, work 8 hours a day, work full time, but it's 2 4-hour shifts with a 4-hour break in between. And it's like an hour away from your house.
It's like being called a sanitation technician. It sounds pretty awesome when you label it like that, and then you get there, they hand you a mop and bucket, and they're like, "Yeah, go clean the floors," and you're like, "That's not what I thought it was going to be."
Right? It's always gussied up.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever took a job where I got duped. Like all the jobs that I've had are.
You mean this job doesn't count as being duped?
No. I love this job. All the jobs I've taken, I figured I pretty much knew what I was getting into. It was the ones that I would interview for, and then they would start to switch things up. Oh, the pay's not going to be as high as we listed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can you stay extra long? Can you stay till 6? Can you stay till 7?
Can you work a 6th day? You work the weekends. And you're like, what?
How do you feel about working weekends? And when they spring this on you, or at least me, sure, I can play the game, but at that point, I'm like, yeah, I just want to get out of here as quick as possible.
I've had those interviews, and you want to politely excuse yourself, and you just look at them like, "Yeah, you're a terrible human being. I gotta go."
Right, and that's part of running a business. That's because that's one of those things I've always wanted to do is have my own business. But then I figure, can I prevent myself from turning into one of these penny pincher type of business owners and become an actual nice boss who pays my employees, who gives them time off, who isn't so cheap that there's like single ply toilet paper and you got people scratching their butts and stuff. Like, I want to think that I'd be a good employer, but then when you look at the bottom line, it's like, well, how much money can I make? How much money can...
See, I don't work that way. The people that I hire, I'm going to hire because I trust them, because I expect them to do a good job, and I want to reward them for it. I don't want to be like the rest of society where it's like everything is a bottom line business and everything is about how much money you can possibly squeeze for the most amount of work. That's sick. I mean, it's really twisted the way that a lot of people in society get treated nowadays, because everything is about inflating the stock market, the stock price, and making sure that the investors are happy. And it's like, how much can you push your workforce before they just go crazy because people are overworked, underpaid. They're in jobs they're overqualified for. A lot of people that are our age can't even get a job.
Yeah. And you figure there's going to be a tipping point at some point, but the thing that'll never change is people need money. That's why you have people getting stuck in weird jobs that they hate. You know, why you have a 40-year-old dude, a 50-year-old dude having to get up for work at 6 a.m. and he hates it. And I guess some people have to have jobs that they hate, but when I had one, I learned real quick that it wasn't for me. And, luckily I'm in a situation where I'm not paying rent, where I live with my parents, and they're okay
But you don't
with
want
that.
to. But I'm going to guess you don't want to live with your parents. I'm sure you wish you were making something like $30,000-$40,000 at this point in your life, and you could be out on your own, or have a roommate that you like, or something like that.
Sure. First of all, I can't room with anyone. I've come to that conclusion.
I'm the same way.
No one, they just mess it up. They just mess things up.
After college, you're just like, I don't want to share a room with another dude.
No,
Like,
never.
No, because you don't want to be cleaning up after someone else's mess. You don't want to hassle them to be like, dude, you got to clean out. This is like disgusting. You don't want to have to like be modest around other people. Like, there's those days when you just want to walk around your apartment naked, or you just want to sing out loud, or be like, just curse out and say every disrespectful thing you could possibly say, and no one's around to hear it. When you're around someone else, you have to like walk on eggshells, and that sucks.
Yeah. So it's something I've never done, and I don't mind living with my parents, but yeah, sure. One day I'd love to live by myself somewhere else, but for now I feel okay working in a job that I like and living with my parents aside, as opposed to working a job that I hate plus this job and not living with my parents.
I feel like we could delve into this topic more, but I feel at this point, we're 5 minutes into the show, and we should welcome in our audience.
Oh,
welcome
yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of Bad Boy Radio. I am your host, Joe Bagonis, joined by my co-host, Max Caster. Welcome, audience.
It's true. You didn't say Magic Caster this time.
I was going to build up to Magic Caster. I don't think you're a fan of Magic Caster, which is, I think, why you have to go with it.
No. See, I don't have to go. You could keep saying it.
I could keep saying it. I mean, it'll stick eventually.
I know what my birth certificate says. It says Max.
It's his spell. It's his Max Spellcaster.
No. Don't think so.
No.
Listen, so we were talking before we came on, and we took a while to pick a song to start the show.
Figuring our intro song. What was our intro song?
It's Nautilus by Bob James.
I got to tell you, I'd never heard it before, but I was really feeling it. This was I think that is the go-to song for our intro.
Yeah, it's one of the most sampled songs in rap
of
all time.
Who are some famous rap artists who have sampled that music?
Well, I know the most famous would probably be Daytona 500 by Ghostface Killah.
Okay.
But the only other one I know off the top of my head, and maybe like 10 people will get this in the world, is Murs, the outro on his album Murray's Revenge. And that's not a popular song at all, but I happen to know it because I'm a nerd.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd these days.
No, that is
being
true.
a nerd is a way to get ahead.
They used to have a whole channel devoted to nerds called G4.
And then NBC killed it because they didn't know what to do with it. And it's like, yeah, just because you're not a bunch of nerds sitting there, you're just a bunch of like accountants and, stock analysts or whatever kind of panty waist, empty suit, garbage heads. You didn't understand it, but that doesn't mean people didn't like it. What? I mean, you were in college and people talked about it, right? I was in college. No. All people wanted to talk about was G4. They wanted to talk about the original Ninja Warrior. They wanted to talk about whatever they were doing on Attack of the Show.
No.
That's what happened in college.
People in college
are idiots.
Well, when I was in college, they wanted to talk about sports.
And not pot?
No.
I thought college was nothing but pot and sex.
No, I hung out with a crew that smoked no pot and had no sex.
Wow, I hung out with people who smoked tons of pot and had nothing but sex.
Wow.
I know.
Well,
except I wasn't one of them that was getting any. I didn't smoke it. Nice feedback.
Yeah.
No, so I was around all those people, but I got no pot no sex, and yeah, I look back at it and I was like, man, I should have done a little bit more, but I was being too responsible.
You were the rebel. No, you were the rebel.
I was the good boy. I nice had a little halo around my head.
But it's weird actually, because I think they turned G4 into Esquire, right?
Yeah.
NBC, and now
It's nothing but reruns of Burn Notice.
yeah, and Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And like I enjoy a little Parks and Rec now and then, but what's weird is like the most popular thing online is to watch people play games now.
Yeah, it is.
So isn't
It's
that
a strange
kind of,
thing because I always grew. Well, I'll get to your point in a second, but I always grew up enjoying watching other people play video games, and I'd get ripped on mercilessly. I'd be called a geek, a nerd, a doofus. Like, dude, why don't you here's the controller? But no, I want to watch you. I want to watch you guys play. What are you doing? What's the matter? And now all people want to do is watch people play video games.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Warcraft,
League of Legends, Dota.
dude. I'm not the biggest gamer, but even I watch people play WWE 2K16. It's this group, New Legacy, and all they do is make jokes, and I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny.
I think that's a real talent when you can do a walkthrough of a game or like do some like play-by-play of a game and be funny at it.
Yeah. Like I honestly I want to pitch these guys to like actually call real wrestling. Like actual wrestling
better
matches.
than the guys who are currently doing it, because
Yeah.
the guys who are getting paid by Vince suck.
This is true.
But anyway, but before we go off on a huge tangent about this, there was a couple topics we wanted to touch on. We were just talking about life in college. There's a big thing that goes on in college, and that's the no means no or yes means yes, and who's getting it and who gets into trouble after they get it.
Yeah. Yes means yes. Basically
What
means
does yes means yes? This was a law in California?
this is California. You need affirmative consent as a man. You need affirmative consent from a woman
Why is the
order
burden on the man? I don't
to
understand
have
that.
sex.
If
I don't
they're
know.
both equal partners, it's a little strange to me that the man needs to obtain it's almost a weird power dynamic there.
I get it. It's a double standard. It's a huge double standard.
Yeah.
Where, women, feminists, they want their cake and to eat it too,
Typical woman, they wants the cake and eat it too.
We're equal. Oh, but here's yes means yes. Here's
Yeah.
affirmative consent. So yes means that if let's take this example. The dude's drunk, the chick is drunk as well. They have sex. The chick is consenting, the dude is consenting. If she wakes up the next day and says, wow, I regret that. I didn't want to have sex with you. You took advantage of me while I was drunk.
A little bit of buyer's remorse in there.
Yeah. She can go to the cops and say, hey, this dude sexually assaulted me. He raped me. And
Well, then the guy
you-
should be able to do that too. Then the guy should be able to I'll call you. Then he goes, I gotta go to the cops. She took advantage. I don't know why a guy would ever do that, but I mean that would technically be fair.
Right. And it works when you're not drunk as well. If, even if you and a girl are completely sober and she wakes up or she just gets up and says, wow, you penetrated me. I know I said yes, but that was really weird. Now I don't like it. I'm going to the public safety officer on campus.
think? Why do you have to tell your friends?
It's like, you raped me. I'm going to start cutting myself.
That's
It's
a little extreme.
Dude, like, you don't know what they'll do. You don't know. Anyone who's crazy enough to consent to sex.
With you is probably crazy.
No, okay. Calm down. I'm a nice guy. I'm boyfriend material. I'm friend zone material. You know that.
Yeah, you're clearly friend zone material.